Good morning everyone, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I want to talk to you about some things that have been going on. Mostly like depression and lack of motivation. So for me personally, I go through depression, but it sort of feels like it's cyclical. And when that happens, I find that my motivation is completely zapped. I want to sleep longer, I want to stay up later, and it just affects the way that I feel. And so I'm starting to feel that coming back a bit more again. And I believe that Friday I didn't do a video. This morning I almost didn't do a video, but I felt like, and this actually is Monday, but I felt like when the depression comes, I don't want to give it any more power than it already has. So if I can, and that's a big if, because a lot of times it feels like you can't, and I don't want anyone to beat themselves up if they say like, oh, that's great for you, but I can't motivate myself. But if I can motivate myself to do something, I will just take everything I have to push forward. And that means doing something that I don't really want to do, which right now is my makeup. I know that seems kind of silly, like trivial. Oh, you don't want to do your makeup. By the way, as I'm talking, I'm going to be doing my makeup. I'm going to do something really simple, but I'm still going to do it just for the principle of it. So I think that it's really important to try to recognize what's going on within yourself. If you're able to, just kind of, once you notice an emotion or a feeling, my process for me personally is that I try to recognize when I first realized I had that emotion, is try to figure out if I felt it sooner, because sometimes I may have, and I just haven't realized it because I wasn't really paying attention. And then I try to see like, where did it come from, and try to give it its time to like play through, because emotions are like indicators. They aren't things that you should live your life by, but they are indications of something. And so I think it's important to recognize your emotions, pay attention to them, and I try to let myself experience whatever that is, and just know that I don't need to dwell in it. I can experience it and let it happen, as it happens for a reason, but then I let it go. And if in the meantime I can do anything to motivate or encourage myself, I will. I tried to change my perspective, alter my mindset, not to ignore whatever's happening, but just because I don't want to live in negative emotions. I don't want to dwell on them. I'm going to let them, show up. I'm going to allow myself to experience it, and then I'm going to move on. And so part of that is, okay, yeah, Friday I didn't do a video. Today I recognized what was happening, and I'm gonna do something about it. So that means that I do a short video and I just talk to you guys about some of the struggles that I have, then so be it. I'm hoping to get back on track with doing some more intricate looks, but if you guys have been with my channel since the beginning, you probably have also noticed my looks are getting simpler, and that is just that sign of the motivation going, and I want to fix that. So that's what I'm trying to do by seeing, okay, obviously something's going on, let's figure out what it is and let's work through it. So everybody deals with some sort of emotion, be it stress, anxiety, depression. Like, we all have conditions of being human, which is just part of it. But a lot of people don't want to talk about it because they feel like, oh, if you talk about having depression or being sad, it somehow makes you inadequate, which is completely wrong. That's not true at all. It just makes you human. In fact, I think that people who can recognize that they have a struggle and admit to people, hey, you know, this is what I'm dealing with. Here are my imperfections and my struggles. Like, I admire people who can do that and who have the strength to just be completely honest no matter what. I want to encourage people to be able to do the same, because nothing's going to get solved by ignoring a problem. That's like if you worked at the Hoover Dam and you noticed there was like a small leak in the dam and you didn't say anything because, oh gosh, you wouldn't want anyone to know that there was something wrong or going on. That would be a sign of weakness. Well, I mean, it's a sign that something's going on. I hate to say it, but being human is a sign of weakness. I mean, it just is part of the human condition. We have bodies and they can be weak at times, but it doesn't say anything about you personally. It's just an effect of life. And, you know, you work at this dam and you ignore this crack and it just starts building and getting bigger and bigger and bigger until the whole thing collapses. Instead of saying, hey, I noticed this problem and, you know, maybe people will think that I do shoddy work or, you know, whatever it may be if you built the dam. But we need to repair it. And then you do. Or you work at repairing it. You work at maintaining. And that's what it's about. But it's mental health maintenance. By recognizing that you have struggles and reaching out for help. And you didn't have to do it by yourself either. There are plenty of people out there who are willing to help you, who are able to help you if you need help, if you're struggling with depression or mental health. Just shoot me a line. I'll send somebody your way that I know can reach out and help you. I mean, my job, I work at the operations manager at a dual diagnosis facility with a focus on opioid addiction recovery. But we deal with mental health and we partner with people like To Write Love on Her Arms, if you guys have heard of them. You know, you matter. Bottom line. I say it in every video, you matter. And I matter too. So that is why I want to recognize that there's something going on, and I want to be honest about it. I don't want you guys to think like I'm just flaking, and some of you still might, and that's okay. I do this channel purely to motivate myself and remind myself that self-care is important. I matter, and I should be better at taking care of myself, because sometimes it gets, you know, left in the dust. We get really busy in our lives, and it's easy to just ignore self-care. I cannot tell you how many people I have worked with, or how many places I have worked, where the status quo for most people when they're working is to assume that if you are not dead or dying, you better be at work, because work is all that matters. You are just a number, and self-care is nowhere to be seen. Where I work, we do a huddle every day, and we talk about our self-care and our gratitudes and what's going on in our lives. and we're open with each other, and we care about those things. And even if you're not always 100% in your meeting, you're at least thinking about it. It's a trigger in your mind to think about, oh, what am I doing for self-care? And I love that. I love that there is that change, because I haven't seen that anywhere else. I'm sure there are other places that do it. I just haven't ever found any. But I think that as people, we just need to remember that we are people. And we do need to take care of ourselves. Sometimes we can get focused on caring about other people too much as well, and we completely forget about taking care of ourselves. So, if you have forgotten about your self-care, hopefully if you're seeing this video, this will be a reminder. Maybe you set a reminder on your phone or put it on your calendar every day to do something for self-care. If you're like me and you're really busy and you forget things, set a reminder. Do something to set yourself up for success. It will change so much in your life, I'm telling you. Like, I just went on vacation last week, just for like a long weekend, and it was awesome. And this is the first time I've ever felt free to do that, somewhere that I worked, to just take time off just for me, for like mental health days, and just to relax. And it was great, and I felt refreshed and ready to start when I got back. You know, I got a lot of projects going on, and it was just like, okay, I'm ready to take on these projects. So self-care could be any number of things. That could be like you taking time to build relationships. If you've always wanted to have like really solid friendships and you don't really feel like you have time for that, you can set aside a few minutes to build a friendship that you might have, or find a friendship, you know, whatever that might be. You could meditate for clarity, even if it's just a few minutes. Start small, and you might find that you really enjoy it, that it's helping. You know, if it's going for a walk in the morning, if it is doing your makeup every day, or, you know, reading your Bible, or reading a good book that you like, or making a meal for yourself. Self-care can be any number of things. And if you need ideas, I mean, I feel like my quote, and it's pretty funny, and maybe it's just because of my age or whatever, but I feel like I'm always telling people, just Google it. But it works. That's a thing. Just Google it. If you need ideas for self-care, you know, look online. But don't forget to pay attention to yourself, to pay attention to your emotions, the indications that they're giving you, you know, all of that stuff. And if you think that, you know, you're overwhelmed, take a break. Take some time off. You don't have to tell anyone what you're doing. If you work at a place that doesn't really care about your feelings or emotions, just, you know, say, hey, I need a couple days off. It's personal. And take some time to yourself. I used Lynn from Jeffree Star. Now I'm going into 1985. I'm going to put it in the crease here. I didn't do any bronzer today. I didn't want to do anything too crazy. Just want to get like some light color on my face. I'm going to go into the shade Back, which is like a pink shade, also from Jeffree Star. It's just a really soft pink. Barely even shows up on my skin. You know, there's another stigma that goes around when discussing mental health, and that is that there are some people who discuss it in such mass amounts that it can sometimes feel like those people are doing that for attention, and I'm sure some people do. And the problem is that it causes other people to feel like if they discuss their problems, that they're going to be seen as an attention bleep, you know, like craving attention. Don't let that stop you. Don't let somebody else's actions or the perceptions of other people rob you of your joy and your mental health and your ability to just say, hey, you know what, I need some help. Because it doesn't really matter what other people do or what they think or what they say. There's always going to be somebody. And if you're focused on other people, you're never going to be happy. I can promise you right now. If you focus on other people, you will never be happy. You can't change other people. You can't make them do anything. You can only control you. So don't let that stop you. If it still makes you feel like you don't want to express it, you know, there's other avenues. You can look for mental health therapists. You can look for support groups. There's all kinds of resources. Again, you can reach out to me and I can point you in a direction to get you started. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to tell the world about it. But you can still get help. I'm going to use Truly Madly Deeply from Colourpop in the shade Poodle. And I'm going on the outer corner here and just adding that over top of the shade I just put down with Jeffree Star. And there we go. I just want you guys to be aware that, you know, that's what I'm struggling with, and also bring awareness if there's anybody else out there who's struggling, that, you know, you're not alone and you don't have to feel like you're alone. And there are people out there that care for you, even people that don't know you or that you don't know. You know, it's just a matter of finding the right people. So, again, feel free to reach out. I'm always here. I know people who do this for a living and love to help people. So, there's at least that resource if you're receiving this message. All right, last thing I'm going to do is take Hungry Ghost with my fingers and put it on my lids. On sort of the inner part of the lid. Not necessarily over the pink that we just did, but like the inner part of the lower lid and sort of the center of the lower lid. Okay, and then I'm gonna take this crown brush that I got and swoop these corners to try and get that cleared off. Let me take my fan brush, see if I can sweep this away at all. There we go. Got some glitter specks all over the place, but I've never been mad at that. Okay. Lastly, I do want to try the new Duckie liner that I got from Colourpop. This is a liquid liner, and I'm going to give it a go. Ugh, my mirror is all gross. Okay, so the wings are a little uneven. Whatever. So now I just need to do my mascara. This is the Bad Gal Bang mascara from Benefit. I've been using this one for a little while now. There we go. Don't really want to put any on the bottom just because I don't think it needs it. It's kind of a soft, subtle look. And I am gonna take my Huda Beauty Golden Sands palette and go into Zanzibar and put it on my cheeks. Zanzibar is the pinkish color. Just to freshen up the blush there. And then for gloss, I have lots of different options, but I think I want to just use this L'Oreal Color Juice with the cherry on top. Lightly, and then the Betty Boop matte lip gloss. And the stuff smells so good. Okay, so that's all I'm gonna do for makeup today. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video, and I hope that you feel like there is hope for you, because there is. I hope that you feel encouraged to go ahead and reach out. If not to me, then somebody. And I hope that you always remember, no matter who you are or where you are, I promise you, you are loved and you are enough.